Welcome back to the Reentry Room, the podcast where we stop pretending that working motherhood has fit into broken systems, because we don't, and we start building something better. I'm Alexa Starks. I'm a leadership expert, speaker, the founder of Executive Moms, and I have two little toddlers. And I work with women and companies to redesign reentry after maternity leave and creating supportive cultures for parents because if you don't redesign it, you'll resent it eventually and end up quitting. So that's exactly what this episode is all about. Because we don't bounce back after maternity leave. We're a whole new person with whole new problems and challenges in life. And so we rebuild. And if you keep trying to fit your old life into your new reality, you're going to feel stretched, thin, and frustrated and invisible. So, today I'm going to walk you through a step by step framework to rebuild your work weeks after having a baby, after coming back from maternity leave, so that you're leading from a place of power, not survival. So, I remember with my first baby, when I came back from maternity leave, I tried to just hop back into my old calendar, right? It was the same like weekly time meeting with my boss for a one-on-one. It was the same, the all hands meeting was at the same time for the company. I just tried to basically fit my schedule into my new life, like not change it at all. And I remember there were a bunch of stacked meetings back to back to back. I think one of the meetings was right when I was dropping off or with my second daughter was right during daycare drop-offs when I came back after my second kid, and I just remember trying to have all the late night catch-up blocks and catch up on work after putting the kids down, and it was just chaos, and I felt constantly behind, and I just resented all the meetings that I tried to be visible for, I tried to show up for, and all the Slack messages, and I just remember thinking that this setup is failing me. Like, I'm not failing. It's this setup. I need to change things. And so that's when I realized that I couldn't just bounce back into my old calendar. I had to build a new one. I had to rebuild a new one that matched the reality of who I was now. And so if there were meetings that weren't mine, like a company all hands, maybe it was okay to just be audio only, camera off and audio only. And I moved around my meetings with my team so that I could line it up to when my son was sleeping because he got to be home with me for a little bit before starting daycare. And so that was really great. Moved around meetings to kind of fill in those nap time schedules rather than feeling guilty trying to squeeze everything in all the time. And it was chaos. So the first step you're going to do is audit your energy, not just your time, but audit your energy. So, energy is what's going to make or break you. When do you feel the sharpest during the day? So, for some moms, that's that first hour after daycare drop off, right? You got tons of coffee in you. You're ready to go, start the day. For others, maybe it's after lunch. You start really getting into your groove. So, map your week around those energy peaks so that maybe that's when you calendar block for your focus time, or maybe that is when you have all your meetings, is during those peak moments for you. So protect your high energy windows for your most important work. Maybe it's strategy or deep work or influence building, networking, whatever it is. And then save the admin or the lower tasks for some lower energy dip times. This is important. Okay. Two is I want you to redesign meetings with boundaries. Meetings will eat moms alive. When you come back, everyone wants to loop you back in without asking what actually matters first. So figure out what I want you to audit your current meetings. So ask yourself, like, do I really need to be there? Or can I contribute async? Can someone summarize it in the email and I can just catch the meeting recap notes? Or maybe I don't need to be there, but someone on my team can be there instead. And I can sort of give someone on my team an opportunity to step up and lead a meeting. And so I did that instead of me running these weekly office hours on Tuesdays. I decided to let my team run those meetings instead. And that gave me an opportunity to, if I needed to be offline to breastfeed my son during that time, then I could. Or if I needed that time to just take a step back, I could. Gave them the opportunity to step up and take on more responsibility as well. So audit your recurring meetings and cut or delegate those. If you don't have to have all of them, don't go. Cut them, delegate. Time box. And when you do show up with intention. Have your perspectives, have your ideas, and that way you can be fully present when it matters most. All right, step 3 is I want you to build your non-negotiable transitions. So this is where resentment can really creep in when you have to jump from Zoom to daycare pickup without a breath, or when you go from bedtime and the 20,000 stories you have to do to quickly hop back into your work to pick up and finish things up for the night. Have rituals of transition, even if it's just 5 minutes to shut the laptop or step outside and take a breath and just think about what you accomplished today. Take a breath so that you're not quickly running from one thing to another and you can have an actual transition so you feel okay, now I'm stepping into work mode. Okay, now I'm going to step back into mom mode. And it sounds small, but it's really the difference between constantly blending roles and then consciously shifting between them. You know, what for me, I worked remotely from home, and so it's hard for sometimes to go from putting my baby down for a nap upstairs to run downstairs and hop onto a meeting and log in. And I, was, and then he would wake up and I'd run back upstairs and get him. And there wasn't a very good transition ritual. And so I had to set that when I would go from, okay, he would have his first nap from 7 to 9. So I'd make my coffee after I put him down. I'd sip on that, take a breath, and then I can step into work mode. And at the same time, after I put my son to bed, and now after I put my kids to bed, my husband and I have dinner, and we all clean up the living room full of toys, pick up the place, we'll eat, and then I'll open my laptop back up and finish whatever I needed to finish up for the day. So that helps build these transitions so I can much more easily and mentally shift between mom and worker. All right, step 4, align your ambition with your bandwidth. One of the hardest things to accept as a working mom, especially a new working mom back from maternity leave, is that you can't do everything at once. You know, for a lot of ambitious women like myself, it was a brutal thing to accept coming back from maternity leave that I had less capacity at first. I was breastfeeding, which is exhausting, navigating postpartum life, and now trying to work again while having a new baby is really hard. And so it's not a failure. You just have to think of this very strategically. So ask yourself, what's the one thing that I want to accomplish or advance in this season, whether it's this month or this quarter? Focus on one strategic thing and focus there. So maybe it's being visible. Maybe it's asserting influence. Maybe it's a stretch project you want to get into. And this way you can channel your ambition strategically. So you're not trying to do everything everywhere all at once. You can focus on doing one thing. And this way, a focused ambition will always outrun trying to scatter attempt everything, like a scattered survival. So if you can focus your ambition on something this quarter or this month and channel your ambition, you will go so much farther and not burn out trying to do everything, because I've been there and you will burn out very quickly. All right. That's it. If you are trying to live inside your old calendar, please don't. You're going to resent it. You're going to burn out and yourself. But if you redesign your work week with the energy, with boundaries, with transitions and ambition in mind, you'll not only survive reentry and coming back after maternity leave, but you'll lead it. It'll be so much more fulfilling. This isn't about doing less, it's about doing things differently and strategically. Because remember, you're not bouncing back, you're becoming someone new. You're rebuilding. And she deserves a calendar that fits her. So, if you're within your first year back after maternity leave, this is the exact kind of thing I work with moms on in my program. We build reentry plans, we build 30, 60, 90-day plans. They don't just keep you afloat, they set you up to lead with clarity and influence and energy so you don't burn out, but you can build your career and be as ambitious as you want to be and the mom that you want to be as well. So, if you're ready to stop resenting your your week and workload and all that, start redesigning it. You can go to my website, executivemoms.co/coaching. I'll put the link in the description as well. You can book a free clarity call with me. We'll talk about customizing your plan and we'll look at your current calendar, your energy, your goals, and we'll rebuild it all together. Perfect to you. All right. Reentry shouldn't break you, it should rebuild you. And that's it for this week's episode of the Reentry Room. I'm Alexa Starks, and I will see you next week. If this episode made you rethink how we support working parents, share it with someone in your corner or someone in charge. And if your company is ready to lead the change, learn more about the Reentry Blueprint Workshop at executivemoms.co. Because thriving after leave should not be the exception, it should be the system.